apologies from Mike and Stephen. Mike is away and Stephen has an appointment. So.
Okay. But we are still quorate if we can just confirm that. Okay, yep. Brilliant. Right, let's crack on. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for turning up to another virtual Parish Council meeting, an extraordinary meeting of the Parish Council, because we've got some planning to talk about, hence why the additional meeting was put in. I apologise, I'm struggling ever so slightly because I'm working on my work computer rather than my normal one, so I'm just having to rejig things a little bit. So it's minutes first, isn't it, Fen?
Yes, please.
Right, has anyone got any amends or comments on the minutes, page 1?
No.
No, I'm fine.
Just need to add on behalf of Mike that he has now resolved the issue in one of the houses regarding the courtesy lights, so it is all
fabulous.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Page 2, 3, 4, and then that's our lot. So, Fen, if you can take that as an accurate record, happy to sign when and if you're next around. Any declarations of interest by members or the clerk?
Number 3, matters arising.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, 3. Matters arising. Any matters arising from the meeting of the 14th?
One thing for me.
Okay.
We received payment from the Good Exchange for the work done on the 24th of July.
Yeah.
It was about £15,463.55.
Yeah.
That's currently sat in our current account.
Yes.
I would like to propose we move it to the earmark reserve in readiness for phase 3. But Brendan, we talked about this on WhatsApp. We will have fees to pay, and at the moment it's about £1,222, but that's an estimate. So I would like to move about 14,200 to the earmark reserve, leaving the fees in the current account.
Yeah.
And then at some point we will get gift aid, but that's going through HMRC. So there will be an addition later on, which we can then earmark reserve as well for the new kit.
Yeah, okay. We don't want to be the wrong side of giving the Good Exchange their fees, which they take from all funding raised, which helps run the whole thing. Yeah. So let's stay on the good side of them, I think. So yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, because Tracy's organised the direct debit, so that 1,222 will come out automatically. But I just didn't want it, the whole amount sitting in earmark reserves, and for us to pay the fees out of our general reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I'll do that transfer tomorrow. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Item 4, declaration of pecuniary interest by members or the clerk. Anyone got anything?
No.
Item 5, comments or questions from the public. Have you got any questions, Vanessa? Okay. Anyone else, Fen? There's no one else there?
No.
Cool. Racing through. Item 6, to approve the use of the playground field for the first Compton Rainbows on the 7th and 14th of September between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. I guess we've had the relevant paperwork through on this, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had risk assessment, and we've had visibility of the sort of guiding and Rainbow's public liability insurance. So that's all in place.
Got any comments or anything that makes them unsure whether we should do this, because it sounds like a very positive thing to do?
No, I've got no problem.
I positively think we should do it, actually, because a lot of it is it's volunteering. Vanessa's volunteering and everything, so I think utilising the community space is ideal. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, Fen,
there's no kind of caveats in our insurance, as long as their own insurance is in place and we're not liable for anything that happens in our playground. Obviously, they won't be left alone. They're with responsible adults, and a plan for that hours mapped out. We haven't got any issues from our point of view.
Fabulous. Well, if we're up to date on that, anyone move to ratify?
Yeah, I'm over it.
Seconded, approved.
Okay, so Tracy, are you proposing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's seconding?
Brendan.
Yeah.
Brendan. All in agreement. Yeah.
All in agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vanessa. There we go. Right, okay. Item 7, similar sort of situation, to approve the playground fill for fitter mothers Pilates in the park during the good weather. And just to be clear, when we say in the park, are we talking about in the rec?
Yes, but away from the equipment. So
Fen, could you just amend that in the minutes? So it says recreation ground, or so we're just clear on which field we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Just for the record, so that we don't have people going, which did you mean, or...
Oh, as opposed to Millennium?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. So I'll just change playground for recreation ground, yeah?
Oh, sorry, it does say for the playground field,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, in brackets, recreation ground.
Yeah, I can do
Sorry.
that.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you now. Sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Pilates in the park. I'm going, what park? It's been a very long day, sorry. Okay. Are we all happy to ratify that?
I propose.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Cool, excellent. Item
Can I
8. Sorry,
just let
go
you
on.
know that if the weather turns and she had
Yes.
planned an event, she's going to take it onto Zoom, and we'll let everybody know. But yeah, obviously there's issues with daylight, so as soon as the clocks go back, it's not going to be possible to do it then. So it's just to try and give her enough time to make the most while it's still light in the evening.
Well, again, I agree with Brendan's sentiments in terms of, the most we can encourage people to use things like this, the better. So it's something to absolutely be encouraged, I think.
Yeah.
And she's covered with insurance, isn't she?
She has her own public liability insurance, yeah.
Great. Cool.
Righty-ho. On to item 8, which is the retrospective planning application for the formation of a new 1-bedroom farm, no changes to ground floor level. Anyone got any comments, objections, thoughts?
It's already up there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Ideally, obviously this has come from somewhere. Someone's done something, but it's been there since 2016. I remember when it went up, so it's fully used. So I presume that he's now obviously has to go through the process retrospectively. Somebody has obviously had a word, and West Berks have got in contact.
I think it's to do with CIL money.
Okay, so we get some SIL money.
Okay, fine.
So because he hasn't changed the layout or done anything, made the footprint bigger, and just basically knocked some stuff around inside, because of it's now there's people living there, we're entitled to some community levy infrastructure. And I think by retrospectively planning, that process can then move forward. So that's kind of where this has come from.
And Fen, just to be clear, have we had any written objections or any comments from any members of the village?
No, but I will just share this with you just so you can see. I had it up somewhere.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa. Bye.
No, I can't find it now. That's typical, isn't it? Have I got it here? There was a letter that was sent from the architect. I'm just seeing if I've still got it. I had it open for you. Sorry, I'll be 2 seconds.
Don't worry.
Here it is, found it. Back to Zoom, share, that one, there we go. So it's because this form wasn't filled in, the SIL form.
Okay.
Right.
So the use wasn't lawful for the last 36 months and will be SIL liable, hence the retrospective planning. So we're likely to get some SIL money for that.
What's the SIL money? What does that mean?
So that's
Common
money.
infrastructure levy, yeah.
Yeah, it's money we get given, a bit like at the Baptist Chapel. So whenever they do any changes to change of use and buildings,
Right.
We get given money to help expand the amenities and things for people in the village.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
quick
and the
question,
bigger
we
the
haven't
development, the more money you get.
Yeah. So we haven't had the Baptist. Would we get the Baptist church money once it's completed? Have we had it? Or we wait for it? Because we've had Maxted's money, obviously. So
Yeah, we've had Seymour Cottages as well.
Fen, one thing
okay.
that I'm really mindful of while we're on the subject of SIL, and perhaps with your Silka and your Nalcat on, I just get the impression we Stillsy's had a really raw deal in terms of, you know, things like the school amount that was sat there where we lost 27 grand because the Downs was only at 72% capacity or something, and we could give the money to the Downs, but we couldn't spend it on our own school. I'd be really happy if we can get either a bit sharper on SIL and what we can do, what we can't do, and thinking about the kinds of projects that we could earmark where you're going, that would be appropriate for SIL, because we often end up with this problem where we'll end up with, we've got 2 weeks to spend, you know, £2,000, but you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do this. I just really appreciate it if we can get a Nalky, Silka sort of view on what is and what isn't possible, because there are so many little projects that you probably wouldn't allocate precept or budget for necessarily, but if you're almost forced to use the SIL money because that's the only way you can spend it, we might go, yeah, well, we will do the pavement from here to there, or, you know, fix a light, or move some vegetation or something. But it, you know, because it's very highways related, it's safety, infrastructure, which is a very broad.
Yeah, it's amenity.
Because even the footpath, actually, even
Yeah.
the footpath beside me, so down up from Andrew beside me, that I've been on to West Berks for about 4 years about it, because it's a hazard. It's a huge hazard.
Well,
It's a big hole,
you know, we've just been picking up the bread from you know, Kennet Bungalow.
Yeah.
And just funnily enough, walking up the road and trying to work out where you as a pedestrian should go with traffic going both ways to not be in the wrong place. We've got that blind corner from Broad Street into the High Street with all that vegetation. So you can't necessarily even see what's coming round the bend. And I thought it was really disappointing, Fen, that they redid the road markings on Broad Street. The council came and redid them so they look nice and shiny, which is great, but they didn't do the 20-mile-an-hour circles anywhere in the village. So if we could send a letter going, thanks for doing half a job, you know, because the reason it's dangerous crossing is the speed that people are, you know, whizzing round both ways. I mean, Brendan, you know, we've also got persistent offenders, which I'm getting very upset about. I know this is slightly AOB, but is it the green Audi?
Who's the green Audi?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going through.
Andrew Wilkins had the registration number.
Yeah.
Is this green Corsa that keeps bombing through the village?
I thought it was an Audi, but
I haven't seen it. But
no.
But we've got 2 or 3 cars that are doing it a lot. I mean, we still equally have delivery vans driving dangerously, but there's the same people, you know, and you just shouldn't be looking at doing speeds like that. So yeah, slightly AOB, so apologies for going off topic.
Okay, well, I can find out. I've also made contact with the chap that deals with SIL money at West Berks, and we've had a conversation on email, so I can get some finer details from him on how we can spend it.
Because I haven't even got, have we got a figure in our SIL pot?
Yeah, about 4,000.
Okay, so again, you know, if we were going, oh my lord, we could spend that on it, you know, we end up losing out because we're not completely clear what we can do, what we can't do, what is possible, what isn't. And that would be, you know, if you could spend £4,000 or £2,000 on something that pretty much everyone's going to see some benefit from,
Yeah.
So talking about speeding going back, we've just had the tractor going past here at about 100 mile an hour.
Yeah, I think some of our friends in the agriculture sector seem to be confusing themselves with their role in life being Formula One drivers, or in fact working in the agricultural industry.
Yeah.
Some
We've got
of the
that 30
tractors.
mile an hour thing that's Carolyn said that she's reported, but I know they said it was a tractor that reversed into it or did it, but Ian said it definitely wasn't anybody agricultural. But if he wasn't there, how does he know?
Well, exactly. We're not, unless we've got an absolute witness, we don't know who did it, but it does need fixing.
Sally said she might have it on her webcam.
Oh, cool. So Fen, are we doing AOB because we've sort of
well, no, we're just sort of still talking about number 8. We need to decide if we want to approve.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
so I don't have a problem with it. The retrospective planning, if it's going to generate SIL money, it's already there, and it's internal, so it's not going to.
Well, it does sound, it kind of sounds that if planning permission was put in, and they used the wrong SIL form, it doesn't seem there was any objection from West Berkshire about the actual construction side of things. So we're arguing about bureaucracy rather than.
What about the other flats that he did? Does that come under that?
Don't know.
No, he probably did them separate, because he did before my time. He did the front. He did the front ones, didn't he? And then he did the back one, which is this one, about 2016, and I arrived here in 2014. I remember he was in the middle of doing that back flat, which is.
I'd be very surprised if they haven't checked on those, and I think I tend to probably think the architects held his hand up and go, "I filled the wrong form in," which invalidates.
It's possible that they filled out the section 106 form, which had been superseded by
SIL, because it used to be called 106.
Yeah,
S106.
there is still these 2 pots of money, and that's one of the things this chap was helping me work out which is which. But it's possible they did one and actually should have done the other, which is why this has happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know how much we potentially would get then? No.
Not on something that small, no.
Fine.
No,
it doesn't matter.
It's going to be less rather than more. But as I said, I think we just got to be a bit smarter about making sure we make the most of it, or what we can and can't do.
Yeah, I just want to flag up that possibly we might need to look into buying a new bus shelter.
Okay.
It's looking a bit tragic, and obviously that's a power of a parish council to provide. So SIL money could potentially be used for that.
That sounds like a pretty good use of funds.
So are we going to approve this with no objections?
Yeah.
No
All in favour?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll fill in the form and send that back to the team.
Thank you very much. So we're kind of at the end of the agenda. Have we got some AOB? Anybody?
No.
So the only piece of AOB I've got is I finally got the drain cleaner man, who does the sweepy road machine, to actually do outside our house. Which, because we've got one of these drains that runs down towards the crown, and it was just full of silt that had come off the pothole.
Yeah.
But part of the problem we've got is lots of the drains around East Ilsley are full of silt and muck.
Sorted. Almost. We're on the list, the booking list, to have all our pipes and gullies blasted.
Cool. Can we ensure they list all the drains, because they keep missing the drain halfway down the high street? It's quite close to the plaque, and effectively all the stuff just goes over it. And this guy drove right past it, even though I pointed and said it's there, and he had to get out of his wagon, and I went, "Oh yeah."
Okay.
And of course, the same thing will happen with the sucky machine.
Yeah. So I spoke to John Bowden end of last week. We've missed their current 2-week run, which took them up to the 7th of September. But he's going to put us on the next one. I told him it needs to be done before the 15th of September, when we have our meeting about the pond, because we're going to start excavation, and I don't want them blasting after we've excavated and put a load of earth back in the pond we've just paid to clear.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to do the silt traps, yeah?
That's what I've told them to do, yeah.
Can we, or ask Nick or anyone who's aware, just to potentially get blinking photos? I want them done.
Yeah, and it's potentially we might have to close the road so there's only one lane open, because their vehicles will be along the side. So as soon as it's been allocated to the job sheet, highways will be in touch with us so we can liaise with people.
And who was the guy at West Berkshire Council who helped with the pond? Is it Stuart?
Stuart and John.
Because they never came and did the walk around with me around the flooding. Because one of the things we've got is all the drainage on Bull Road.
Yeah.
Is all the drains are in the wrong place. So if you walk up there when it's raining, the rain comes down off the Maxted field at the top, crosses the road, then it crosses the road again. And there's certainly one drain that has no water going into it whatsoever, and you'll end up coming around the corner and pouring down Fiddler's Lane in a torrent. And Stuart talked to me about the one drain towards the bottom of it. So if you're looking up it, towards Oaks Brothers, it's on the left-hand side at the bottom. And we talked about potentially doing a cut through into the A34 guttering. There's a bit of a not a river, an outlet thing that runs a parallel, and we were talking about whether you could then take some of that water straight into there rather than let it run round the corner and build up steam with the stuff, because we've got to try, if we're going to do the pond, we've got to keep the stuff out of the pond.
Yeah, agreed. But we're definitely on the list, and John will let me know as soon as we've been allocated, so we can have a date, and then we can.
And did you walked up the lay-by and saw what I meant about the broken fence and the nettles across?
Yeah, Tracy and I did that. I've taken some pictures, so I've just got to.
I want the fence fixing.
Is it that one post that's sort of leaning?
No, there's 2 or 3 of them, and Pete was having a go at me saying the sheep will be out.
Okay.
But, they haven't done any maintenance to that fence in more than 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
I just think that, they just need to take a bit more responsibility. They don't look after the trees. They've all got TPO orders on them. They don't ever send anyone round. I'm just not very happy with Lockinge.
Yeah, all right. I'll send something over to them.
Fantastic. Any other AOB?
Nope.
No.
Wonderful. Thank you as ever, everybody. Have a lovely evening, and thank you for getting through that really quickly.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Bye.